talk about that there were shots fired. This is the first real shot by Mimi Rocah against Anthony Scarpino, and how and how he handled a recent issue about a cop, a Yonkers cop, who has admitted perjury. So lohud reported that former Mimi Rocah, who's a former assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, questioned why Scarpino didn't initiate a review earlier. Right, task force earlier yesterday with his task force last year. Right, why did it take him a year to do a review? And as a former prosecutor, she said, I know that it's a standard with overlapping prosecutorial agencies. See, it didn't print well. Well, anyway, she's saying that it is standard for the federal government to inform the local district attorney's office of the investigations, of the proper investigation, and what's going on. So, and she said that this guy was allowed to continue serving as a witness since the DA became aware of the allegations. So clearly, he was under investigation, and they were still allowing him to testify in cases.
Was he indicted though?
It doesn't matter. She's saying
why wasn't even his credibility at least questioned?
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, because if you're an attorney, I mean, I would think, I'm not an attorney, but if this guy has credibility issues and even accusations,
right.
Can you trust him in the case against a black defendant?
Right. So basically, now that he admitted perjury, mm-hmm. every case that he testified, every report that he was, they literally have to go back now, and I hope that there's lawyers. You know, I'm kind of upset that Mike left on this, because there's lawyers. Lawyers have to get on their game now. And a lot of guys maybe have got a lot of time, even with the case of
Jamal Smythe.
Right, Jamal Smythe. He was serving time because these Yonkers cops lied, and they reviewed.
Can't think of the other guy's name.
Right, but then they let him go, and they probably paid a hefty toll to this brother. Because he went up.
Served 3 years.
Yeah, he served 3 years out of a 13-year sentence.
20. Yeah.
20. Yeah, it was a lot. I remember it was a lot. But I really think if Mimi Rocah continues to go at Scarpino on these issues of dealing with police corruption, he's going to have a problem. He's going to have a big problem. Because, my opinion, he dropped the ball on a lot of things in Mount Vernon.
Westchester County, period.
Yeah, throughout Westchester.
White
Place PPA, the missing guns.
The missing guns in Eastchester or Bronxville, whatever that was.
Exactly. And just Mount Vernon, he was just ghost. He was just absent. And I also think part of the problem is that they have to change how they hire, or they bring in police, bring in the investigators for the DA's office. They should never come from the 43 municipalities. Well, you can't investigate if you have your investigators. Exactly, and we know, and we know how it is. Law enforcement is a very, incestual community. Meaning, when I say that, meaning that you have people that are related to each other throughout the 43 municipalities. And I could just use my family, and who I'm and other people in law enforcement throughout Westchester that I'm actually related to. So that is it brings question. How can you have integrity, and have transparency if you're investigating your own police department, or you're investigating the police department that your wife's cousin, uncle's brother is in, and so we have to change the structure in how we do business in the DA's office. But I think if she continues, he's gonna have a problem. Robin Elizabeth says, so them cops are not going to stand a chance for Mount Vernon since an election is upon us. Maybe not. But a little birdie told me that Scarpino was brought over the rakes by the Black Democrats for not charging the cop that body slammed the person in the hospital, right. and he still don't have any type of charges, right? So what does that mean, right? That means absolutely nothing. Or maybe he doesn't want an election. But you know what? We don't know what's going to happen. It's still a couple of months, and I guess maybe after the first poll come out where Mimi is beating his behind, he'll start putting people in jail. But you see, it's also a double standard in how they treat Black folks, because they, I'm not condoning what the brother, what's his name, Martin, who was arrested in Mount Vernon, but they plastered his behind all over the media like it was a win for the DA's office. But you barely knew about this white cop in Yonkers that admitted perjury, right? And for a while they didn't even let his name out.
And that's what they usually do. I just want to echo, I don't remember who the guest was, and he was having a conversation. I don't know if David was in the studio or on Skype. The Westchester County DA is one of the most important elections that persons of color can vote for. We have an election coming up. We can't just roll A all the way. We can't just go with somebody because they're the party nominee. We have to use our vote wisely, because it's going to seriously have an effect on how crimes are prosecuted and people are prosecuted over the next several years. This is a very, 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 very important election, and it may be one of the most important elections that you can vote in locally. And so you need to know the candidates. I want to definitely try to reach out to this candidate and see if she'll come on the show.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the information.
Right, and get the candidates in here and talk to them and get y'all to know who they are, so y'all can make informed decisions at the ballot box, because we're not doing that. We're voting for popularity. We're voting because other people are telling us to vote for them, or that's who they're voting for. We're not voting because I still stand to this day, and I could be wrong. I don't think Scarpino was the best candidate.
He wasn't.
I think the Republican candidate, Bruce Bandage. I think he was the more qualified candidate. I've interviewed him. I've talked to Scarpino, and from the interview and from what I've seen, I think he probably might have been better. Now, I could be wrong. It's one thing when you campaign and one thing when you're in the position. But I didn't think Scarpino was the best candidate, and I'm gonna be honest about that. And I didn't vote for him.
When I first ran for office, Scarpino was running for office, and the Democratic Party asked me to go door to door with him. I went door to door with him. We campaigned together many years ago. Same people in the Democratic Party that asked me to help him are still the same people in the Democratic Party today.
No, I mean, yeah, but
that's a problem too.
And see, this bothers me, right? This bothers me when you have when you have a candidate, when you have a candidate or you have an elected official, and especially in the DA, especially in the DA, that does not give justice, right, or does not do the right thing when it comes to communities of color, and black elected officials or black leadership, well, especially black elected officials, do not publicly condemn their counterpart in the DA's office, I think it does a disservice to the district attorney's office. It does a disservice of justice because of the fact that, you know, I'm cool with behind closed doors meetings, but as I told the little birdie, you know, but what does that does with the general public, right? You do not give the general public proper information that they could go in, that they could go into the voting booth and try something new because what we have has not worked. So, you know, I really think that we are failing in that way. You know, for him to be from Mount Vernon and has allowed the corruption to go on and allowed all that corruption for 3 years, and then I know for a fact there were people that walked evidence in his office, and still nothing happened. I myself met with him two or three times on incidents that happened, and me and Nas Duncan met with him on certain things, and they still didn't do anything. You had his ADA, right, rake over the coal in a murder trial, rake over the coals of the incompetence of some officers, right? But nothing actually happened, and they lost the trial. So, you know, there's a lot of good officers, right? But look, every job we know that there are people that should not be there. I mean, I know people at my job that shouldn't be there. They should be doing something else, right? So if we're just going to be honest, right? A lot of times we don't want to be honest. So when those people that you know that shouldn't be there do things wrong, you know, it should be some type of accountability.
Absolutely. Lorraine Lopez, any last words? Anything that you want to address?
No, it's good. Let's keep an open dialogue with that. I think we need to discuss the mental illness situation in our community a lot.
We're going to be talking about that a lot this year.
Yeah.
We're going to bring other people in. We're going to continue this conversation, keep the conversation going, as well as Damon and the plant-based diet, our health and wellness is going to be.
Yeah, I just got my first certificate. My first certification.
All right now.
I am now a plant-based lifestyle coach. Awesome. That's my first one. So I got 3 more. I'm working on 3 more.
So we're going to be dealing with a lot more of that. A lot of more health and wellness, and I'm going to be working